First thing I want to be done is to get that piece of crap out of my ring.
Come on.
Don't just get him out of the ring, get him out of the WWE. Because I've proved, son, without a shadow of a doubt, you ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. All he's got to do is go buy him a cheap bottle of Thunderbird.
All right, stop
and
it.
try to dig back some of that courage he had in his prime. As the king of the ring, I'm serving notice to every one of the WWE superstars. I don't give a damn what they are. They're all on the list, and that's Stone Cold's list, and I'm fixing to start running through all of them. As far as this championship match is considered, son, I don't give a damn if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels. Steve Austin's time has come. And when I get the shot, you're looking at the next WWE champion, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Frustrated into the goddamn word for it! This is bullshit! They're shaking hands! Stone Cold is shaking hands to save himself!
I now own WCW.
I just wanted to welcome everyone to the first edition of the Tweener Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Peter. I have my good buddy Garrett here.
How's it going?
We are two wrestling fans, and we're probably the only people we know who like wrestling.
Well, at least as much as we do.
I think you told me earlier you had a wrestling fan who I've never heard of
Yep,
before.
you've never met her.
And she's female.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, right now we were considering doing a podcast. You know, we've listened to other podcasts before, Laps Fan. What's that other one I really like?
There's plenty. There's the Laps Fan. I listened to JR's. I listened to Austin's.
No, that's true.
I've occasionally listened to Jericho's. Jericho's is like come out of nowhere, really. Like it's on the table for an award, for like a sports podcast award this year, which is ridiculous. He's only had it for like 6 months, so he's putting in work. That or he knows a lot of people.
That's true, but he keeps getting in fights with fans and CM Punk and all these other people. That's okay. That's fine. Anyway, why are we doing this, Garrett? Why are we going to the trouble of making a podcast when it's going to take, far too much time? Is it just because we need to talk wrestling with someone?
I don't know. I think that's part of it. I was going to say, and it's really nice to be able to talk about something that, a lot of other people I don't know apart from yourself. Like if I were to go to any of my other friends and be like, let's talk about 1996 Raw and the Monday Night Wars, they'd be like, what are you talking about, man? Like let's go do something else. And it's great to be able to go back and watch old things that I haven't seen since I was, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
So right now at the moment we're watching, the Hall of Fame. We're getting ready for WrestleMania week. WrestleMania's tonight.
Yeah.
I think you made a good point earlier about one of the reasons we're doing this is just kind of the bullshit of the WWE historical narrative just taking over everything.
Oh, it's awful.
I mean, I don't think you ever watched you don't have the network.
No, I don't have the network.
Have you ever seen the Monday Night Wars documentary?
No.
It is shit.
I have heard that it's garbage.
It is bullshit. Every episode starts, like, Ted Turner wanted to take out WWE. And Ted Turner really had nothing to do with it. Ted Turner ran the cable network, and a guy named Eric Bischoff took a ton of Ted Turner.
Who we all know.
Yeah, and he was the one running the ship.
Yep, without a doubt.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So I think that was one of the primary reasons I wanted to do a podcast. I wanted to talk wrestling with my buddy.
Well, that and other people talk big shows all the time, and I really wanted a podcast where we could break down, not necessarily go like inside baseball with all these episodes, but just episodes that people may not have watched, and just say, look, this is the episode where Ahmed Johnson faces Goldust randomly to open up a Raw in Wisconsin.
Even then, we might be skipping some episodes.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I have some stuff on the pay-per-view here that we're kind of like right over our heads.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens. We wanted... I think initially we were thinking of doing an Attitude Era podcast. But we're not sure right now. I think we're doing an Attitude Era podcast.
We're looking at that time kind of from 96 to when it started to probably, 2002? Just towards the beginning of Ruthless Aggression, I guess?
Ruthless Aggression!
But, yeah, I mean...
And, if we like what we're doing here, we might move on forward.
Yeah, we can keep moving forward. We can, I mean, if the interest is there, you go further into depth or you go less in depth. It depends. Like, it's a feeling out sort of trial thing, and I'm having fun with it.
I'm still debating names, I think
Yep.
Era of Attitude,
that's good.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. Origins of
Attitude.
That
Yep.
could be good. And then if we get bored, we can do other stuff too.
Yep.
This is just kind of the period that Garrett and myself really enjoy. We grew up during this time.
This is when I first really started watching it weekly, every week.
Apparently Garrett was watching it in 1996.
Well, not 96, but near the end of 97,
No, but
98.
You're seeing it.
I'm starting to, every once in a while, I'd see it on TV and see, Shawn Michaels on there. What's he doing now? The boy toy.
I come in a little bit later, 1999. I can actually tell you, I think we're on Wrestling Memories right now. I can tell you it was the weirdest moment to start. It was Saturday before WrestleMania 15, and it was the WrestleMania Rage Party.
Oh, yeah.
And it was on some random channel. And
because they scrapped Access that year for, this Rage Party. Was that 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 15, because everyone was really upset. Everyone was looking forward to Access.
I didn't know that.
We're doing a Rage Party. And, they scrapped Access for that.
Did they have the Elimination Chamber that people could climb that year?
Shout out to this year. Yeah, no. Good for that guy, though.
Balls on that guy.
Yeah, good for him.
So what was the WrestleMania Rage Party? Just not to get my head myself here.
I guess it's just a rage party. I don't know what you. Where was 15?
In Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Jeez, a rage party in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it'd be. I'm just picturing a gigantic rave with a bunch of wrestlers there.
Just faces and heels.
I guess around 15, a lot of cocaine.
Yep,
a lot of cocaine.
Some shared steroids.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and you, I keep getting confused with you and your starting date. Tell me your first memory here.
Oh man, my first memory. There was a lot of them. I mean, my first memory starting out was probably just around when Mankind was. Him and The Undertaker's feud was my first real memory. I wasn't really watching every week at the time.
Hell of a feud.
Yeah, great feud. But actually, when we were rewatching some of these episodes, one of my favorite memories was the recap of Mind Games when it showed he told Paul Bearer to open the casket and no one was there to put Shawn Michaels in it, and then he closed it and what seems 10 seconds later he reopens it and Undertaker's there and sits up and just beats the hell out of Mankind. And then Shawn Michaels wins.
That's episode 2. If you're going to be following our Origins of Attitude or Era of Attitude, we haven't decided yet.
But that is episode 2.
I think that's episode 2.
Yeah.
So right now we're going to be covering June to August 1996. I think Garrett wanted to smack me in the face once I told him when we were going to be watching, but I think this is important. I think
it
you
is.
can agree as well.
It's the start of it is the start of the Attitude Era.
You get a little bit.
You get a small amount of Attitude here. I mean, clearly they're making some changes. There's a lot of in and outs, and I mean, Russo isn't even there yet. But there's a lot of in and outs and a lot of interruptions and a lot of outside interference goes on at this point in time, and a lot more they're really starting to get an affinity for chair shots and outside interference at this point, which is great because as a kid I loved it, and now I'm just well, did they really need that?
Matches where you see the guy get chair shotted 3 times, and then Jim Ross is warning about a DQ or a count out.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah. It's really strange. But I mean, I think I was just happy because going back to this, I've watched a lot more modern stuff, and they've done away with chair shots, right? There's none of them. That's a pay-per-view, and even then they're really, really, it's always to the back. It's never to your head anymore. Thanks, Chris Benoit. But
yeah, R.I.P. I think the most the interesting thing is just the complete overhaul and presentation. Watching today and watching then, you see
Man, they recorded in Green Bay. They recorded 4 episodes in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Same fans.
4 of them, same fans. Those guys wearing the hats.
The Burger King crowds.
The Burger King crowds.
Yeah, it's completely different. Our presentation, we'll get to this in the end, I think is important to get to. But yeah, I think the whole nature of the podcast is just to kind of get us away from current WWF.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell it's called, WWE.
I'm glad. It's a nice escape.
Have a little bit of a breather. Yeah. Watch some stuff that, was actually kind of targeted towards our generation.
Mm-hmm.
I know they say that the stuff is for kids right now and that we shouldn't bitch. I was 9 to 11 when I watched the Attitude Era, and I fucking loved it. So
yeah, well, that's the newer generation, and I think that's a lot of it. But that's completely off point.
I just don't. So, I mean, we're getting out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the start of the podcast. This is the very first episode. Please excuse any fuck ups or awkwardness on our part.
What period in time are you looking forward to the most? When we go through it.
Oh, you're looking at my notes here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Fuck me. I really, really like the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
1999 is pretty shit.
Overall, the end of 99, it starts to really ramp up, but 2000's where it's at.
2000s is really good.
Yeah.
I'm actually really looking forward to the 1998 Raws. I've never really gotten into them.
Yep.
I mean, I've watched a few of them. I've seen some of the more famous ones. The 1997 stuff is really good as well. Hart Foundation's, the Hart family. What is it? The new Hart Foundation?
Yeah,
the Canada feud.
The Canada feud.
I'm looking forward to that. I've heard great things about that. 1997 has a couple of 5-star matches in it that I'm a big fan of. So it should be a good time. You?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to swaying your opinion on the invasion.
The invasion.
You see, I don't know, you and a lot of other people are, they're either on the fence or they disliked the invasion. And I mean, it might be like my starry eyes from being like 11 years old when the invasion was a thing. But like for me, it was all about Austin coming back and saving the WWF, and the crowd pop is probably one of the biggest I've ever heard. When his glass shatters and he comes back, when he comes in from the back with the pool cue, and I think we owe a lot of that to Sid. When he showed up with that really piece of shit car.
Yeah, Sid's our boy.
But when he comes in with that car and then Austin, I think that's why they did a lot of that stuff. When he pulls up with his pickup truck or gets hit later on. I mean,
you'll see a lot of the early
stuff. I think there's a lot of that. And that's probably my favorite moment, actually, my favorite moment. But that's way later in the era. But the invasion era is great. They could have obviously done it different ways. I mean, there's so many ideas out there now.
We'll get there. We can bitch about that at that point.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm just going to plug our email here. We got Tweener Wrestling Podcast @gmail.com. So if you got any questions or
ideas,
anything that can improve this, or if you just want to tell us that we're a bunch of assholes,
then fuck
do
off.
that too. No, do that too.
Yeah, it's great. I'll send it right back to you, but it's great.
On Twitter, you can get us at Tweener Wrestling as well. We'll do some fun stuff there, hopefully. I'm a big meme guy. I think Garrett is too. So
big
so
memes.
I'm going to share most of the ridiculous wrestling gifs and stuff I'll find on my boards and stuff. Let's get this podcast started. I can't wait to do this journey.
You people, you know who I am. But you don't know why I'm here.
Are we going to get security here?
Where is Billionaire Ted? Where is the Nacho Man? That punk can't even get in the building. Me, I go wherever I want, whenever I want.
Listen, we need to get somebody to talk.
And where is Scheme Gene? 'Cause I got a scoop for you. When that Ken doll lookalike, when that weatherman wannabe comes out here later tonight, I got a challenge for him, for Billionaire Ted, for the Nacho Man, and for anybody else in WCW. Hey, you want to go to war? You want a war? you're going to get one.
You want a war? You're going to get one. How was my Scott Hall there? Was it?
That wasn't bad.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
Well,
Scott Hall's got a weird voice.
How good is that promo? That is.
It's a great promo. It's there's the start of the wars. And despite what Alundra Blaze said today, she didn't start the war by dropping the title in a trash can.
I mean, you could say there was definitely a war going on there, but I don't think anything got too vicious until around this point.
Yeah.
This jump. And
Nash and Hall jumped.
This jump is so perfect. We're just going to talk about WCW for a bit. Garrett and I don't really watch WCW.
No.
Did you watch WCW?
I saw like two episodes, probably.
We're WWE guys.
Yeah.
But this is just such an awesome storyline here.
Yep. Great promo.
You know why it's so good? He references all the Billionaire Ted stuff.
He does.
You know, like you know, where's Billionaire Ted? Where's the Huckster? Where's the Nacho Man? Where's Scheme Gene?
The Nacho Man.
You know, he's taking all that shit that the WWF did.
That's great.
Petty bullshit.
Just so petty.
That they almost got sued over. I actually don't know if they got sued. They definitely get sued over this, where they pretend to, be invading WWE wrestlers, despite what Eric Bischoff will tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know why he still says, I've seen that interview 150 times, like Nitro needed some stuff.
Some new heat.
Yeah, because Nitro, I think in March or February, it goes to 2 hours, and Raw is still at an hour at this point.
And getting its ass kicked.
Not yet, but soon. It is losing.
Yeah, it's losing often.
The WWF before 1996, it was not a deep roster by any means. You can see that in, WrestleMania 12.
Yeah, you can just see that in regular Raws. It's like it's the same stars, same people every week.
It's fine with an hour program.
Yeah, you don't really have much. Well, I mean, you start an hour program and then you schedule like Marty Jannetty versus like Owen Hart. And it's like a 25-minute match out of an hour.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have time to do a lot of stuff there.
I think it shows, especially, I'm sure this isn't the case, but WrestleMania 12, where Shawn and Brett are wrestling for an hour and 5 minutes or so. I think that was literally because they didn't have the roster for it.
Yeah.
They don't even have Razor at WrestleMania because he was suspended.
Yep.
Wink, wink. Because what did he get suspended for? It was like drugs, but I feel like he didn't want to wrestle Goldust, so they.
Yeah. Well,
they did something there.
Yeah, Goldust. What a weird guy he is, but we'll come back to him. We'll keep an eye on Goldust.
So let's talk about Diesel and Razor because I think there's one moment in May that's really going to start everything here. So I think it was in January or February, probably January. I think Razor gets contacted first by WCW, and it's not even just about the money. Because I think they've talked about in the past that WCW had absolutely no merchandise, really.
Not at all.
Their merchandise department was shit.
Yeah.
So they have to do guaranteed contracts. I think that's what Bischoff said. Guaranteed contracts is the only way to get people because you don't make as much.
Yep.
So they offer Scott Hall something ridiculous. I really should have looked up these numbers. I just think it was.
It's large.
$750 probably.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But the most important thing there was the dates. Working for Vince McMahon is great, but you will be working 300 plus.
300 plus days a year.
And working with Bischoff, I think he was down to half that. Probably.
Yeah, probably around 150.
Yep. Yeah.
That's right.
So, there's that great story where, this is the problem with the Monday Night Wars. They have the same friggin' 3 sound bites.
Oh, yeah.
In this business, you can have friends or money.
Yeah.
I already had friends. I want the money.
I want the money, yep.
And then he goes to Nash, and Nash goes, how many dates? And my eyes got huge.
Yeah.
And how much money? So Nash is all aboard. He actually, Nash tries to play the honor among thieves here.
Oh, yeah.
He goes to Vince, and he says, just match it. And I think matching it would have put him over every single person in the business. And
Yeah.
he wasn't the guy. Sean was the guy.
Yep.
I think Sean re-signs around this time for $750, but he's doing 300.
300 plus days a year, yeah.
And the wrestle vessel.
Oh, yeah,
Don't
the
you
wrestle
forget about
vessel.
the wrestle vessel.
The wrestle.
The
wrestle.
I mean, yeah, he got to bang Sonny on a cruise ship, but
You could also bang Sonny
300 days
if you were there.
That's brutal. Anyway, so he tells Vince, probably beside Vince's pool, that he would re-sign for that money.
Yep.
And Vince just says, no,
Nope.
I can't. However, he does say, you can go, whatever, but you got to put over Undertaker, put over Shawn, and one more? No, I think that's it.
I know definitely Sean for sure.
Yeah,
You have to put HBK over for sure. Yep.
And so, before that, they actually suspend Razor around this time. It's drug related, but knowing them, it could have just been them trying to take him off TV. He also didn't want to work with Goldust, which is insane. Goldust was one of the bigger heels at the time.
He was huge.
And
Which is a really weird thing to say, that Goldust was a big heel at the time.
No, he was big. He was huge.
Yeah, he was big in the mid-90s.
Because they immediately slot him with Piper, who was actually still very relevant.
Oh, yeah.
Piper
that's
was
right.
a big deal back then.
Yep.
Yeah, Piper was probably like Warrior level.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Maybe.
sure, yeah.
If that's fair.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry. I hope we're not meandering here. Let's get to the good stuff. Their contracts are coming up to an end.
Yep.
I think the last appearance of Razor is May 19th, 1996. In what becomes known as the old curtain call, or the MSG incident.
Yep.
Did you love how overblown these things are?
The
Montreal screw job. Yeah, it's.
I don't know if that one's overblown.
Yeah,
but I mean,
well, we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
Apparently, and this is just one of those things that happened because Triple H didn't drink. In the European tour, they were all wasted, and they were saying, this is a great idea, New York, let's do it.
Yeah.
And Triple H, because he doesn't drink, was the only one who remembered it. And so
Of
the
course.
night of, he actually came up to them and said, Are we doing it, guys? And it was a house show in Madison Square Garden.
yeah.
First sold out in ages.
Yeah, it was a long time since before then.
So this is
they
a big
sold
deal.
out. It's a huge deal to begin with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big source of pride for them.
Yep.
And it's Triple H versus Razor.
Yep.
And Diesel versus HBK in a
In a cage, yeah. Yep.
Why didn't we start it like good friends, better enemies? I really wanted. I love that match. I love that match between the two.
Yep.
That
cage match was pretty good too. It was all right.
You see it?
I've watched it since then.
The video of it?
Yeah.
The curtain call?
Yeah, like just the match, and then it cuts out before.
I just remember the fan filming it, yelling at Razor the entire time about being a sellout and a drug addict. And then he marks out later when
he marks out so hard.
He turns around real quick. Apparently, so anyway, HBK says to Triple H, just go ask Vince if it's cool before we do this.
Yeah, and Vince okayed it.
Vince says it's fine. In HBK's book, he says it's fine.
And no one else knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, no one else backstage understands what's going on.
Which just shows you how important this, or how much power the clique has at this time.
Yeah.
Even though they say they don't.
Yeah.
So, Triple H goes over Razor, which is hilarious when you think of what's going to happen to him. And HBK goes over Diesel, he wins the title, he's celebrating, and Triple H runs out. So HBK thinks, okay, we're doing this. He kisses Diesel on the forehead, if you can believe it. Razor runs in, they all hug.
People flipping out.
Yeah, everyone's excited.
Like losing their minds.
Everyone knows what's happening, everyone's cool with it.
Yep.
It's just...
Well, a fan recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, we got that. I mean, they I think that was a problem. Someone recorded the entire show. You can find it on YouTube. We'll actually post it on our Twitter if you ever get around to it.
Yeah.
And just listen to the fan while heckling Razor and then becoming the biggest Razor fan.
You drug addict? You sellout?
Yeah.
What do you mean they're friends? Woo! Mark's like a bitch.
Like a
bitch.
Yeah, so they all celebrate and they do a bow, and that's why it's called the curtain call. Edit that. And it's their final show together, and these four think that Triple H and HBK are going to run WWE.
Yeah.
And Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are going to run WCW.
Yep.
Not exactly. So HBK comes backstage. Sorry, this is just a long story. I hope it's
It
not
is.
boring.
No, it's fine. I like the curtain
It's important.
call.
It's
It's
important.
an important part of what's going on.
And Vince goes, I'm not going to do the voice. I'm not going to.
No, don't do
I want
the
to do the
Vince
voice.
McMahon voice.
He says, was that important to you? And HBK says, oh, it was. And then Vince says, okay, that was important to me too. And then the next night, he calls HBK and Triple H into his office, and because Scott Hall and Nash are gone. And he basically says, everyone's pissed. You guys really fucked me. And Triple H, you're going to have to take the blame for this. I can't punish Shawn, but I'm going to punish you.
Yep.
And all the road agents apparently were really pissed. And all the wrestlers probably, taking the cleat down a peg, probably jumped on this
without
too.
a doubt, yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, that's a lot of power, a lot of stroke to have to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
In Madison Square Garden on, the sellout night,
Yep.
on your last night. It's kind of like a fuck you.
Yeah.
Which is what they saw. I mean, Triple H and Shawn just saw it.
Triple H was supposed to win King of the Ring.
Don't jump ahead of us here. We're still going.
I know,
here.
but I mean that's how Vince sorted.
I still can't believe he would have won the King of the Ring. I guess we can move on to that because I've been rambling about this for a bit.
But think about what the difference would have been if Triple H won King of the Ring instead of Austin.
Rip WWE.
Like, it would have been over. They would have had nothing.
So I think that's where we can. This is why I really wanted to start here. We're not watching the friggin' curtain call or anything.
No,
like that.
no.
You have one branch that shoots into WCW and directly creates this NWO idea because you have that idea that they're all friends, they're all running this bitch. Even the curtain call itself was kind of like, we're still friends, whatever. Maybe they're working for WWE.
Yeah.
And then you have the second branch, which shoots off into the WWF. Do you like my branch analogy?
I do like that.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually.
Branches shoot, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we have Triple H supposed to win the King of the Ring 1996.
Yeah.
Looking at the bracket, I'm just going to say he was probably supposed to beat Mero in the final.
I imagine so.
Because it's a weird bracket. Because you have... I don't know. You have, I think, Jake Roberts. They just make up that Jake Roberts storyline on the fly, and then Austin would beat Mero.
Yep.
So it makes a little more sense because Mero and Triple H actually had interaction at WrestleMania 12.
Yep.
And
12, yeah.
It was all Sable because Sable was his initial valet.
Sable.
It would have made sense in the grand scheme of things.
Yep.
And then he would have feuded with HBK in the summer.
Yep.
Well, that would have drawn money.
Money.
That
a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money to WCW.
Yeah, a lot of money to the other show.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Triple H not getting over in 1996. Like, if Triple H had that push, he doesn't get over, and then Austin doesn't have the King of the Ring push.
Well, that's what I mean. It would have been RIP WWF.
What a weird world we would live in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because right after that, that happens May 19th, like we said. And the week of May 20th is when it starts.
That's when they start winning.
That 84-week ass-kicking begins.
Yep, they start running wild all over them.
Well, they do crazy things in WCW during that 84 weeks, and the WWF changes nothing. They go with the same formula and do the same things for that ass. Like, towards the end of it, they try and change because they realize we're in real trouble.
You don't like the one live episode of an hour of Raw and then 3 taped ones.
I don't like that formula, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I do not.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't like those assholes with the crown hats on in Wisconsin for 4 Raws.
Yeah, they never left. Can you imagine sitting there watching
4 hours?
I mean, that's what you have to do now.
Yeah, you have to.
Week.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I wonder why people don't watch anymore.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on. Hall, it shows up literally...
8 days.
Yeah, 27th.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And that kind of really pushes that...
27th, and then Kevin Nash shows up on the 10th.
Big Daddy Cool.
Yep, shows up on the 10th of June.
And HBK actually in his book says that a lot of the ideas that they're running with in the NWO it's just shit they bounced around.
Oh, without a doubt.
Backstage in the WWF.
Yeah. And that's even more, like, that makes it even more interesting, is, like, it's ideas that the WWF could have ran with. And they let it go.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
Just so that's a crazy world to think of.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And that's it. Curtain call wise, if anyone ever wonders why 4 guys taking a bow in the ring and surrounded by a cage,
It's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean that's those two creating the NWO and creating the Austin 316 opportunity, which is our first show that we're
game.
gonna. Yeah, I mean it's the first show that we're gonna be kind of looking at here.
King of the Ring.
1996, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep.
We
We start with it's Ahmed and Goldust. It starts, right?
Do they start?
But
let's talk about Ahmed and Goldust.
Yes, let's talk about Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson.
Vince's Homer.
Vince would love this guy. This guy.
Oh man, he's the most Vince McMahon man ever.
Yeah, it's all muscle.
All jacked up.
No.
He's just
no charisma, no brain.
you can't
no talent.
understand a word he says in promos.
Yeah, we need to queue up that. You ever see the Warzone? The old video game where he cut promos.
Oh man,
and it'd be like wonton beef stew.
Yeah,
and they have subtitles.
Yeah,
and it makes no sense. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Oh man,
gotta cue that in.
Also, he's really sloppy
And dangerous. Yeah,
he's dangerous.
He's
stiff. He's very stiff. He botches a lot of moves too. There's a lot of botches that he almost dies. There's a lot of crazy.
Even in this match, he does a clothesline, but he does a jumping clothesline over the ropes.
Over the ropes.
But it's supposed to just take one guy out, not him as well. And
Yeah.
sometimes he gets his leg on the ropes.
Yeah, he's really dangerous.
Yeah, it's
and he's injured all the time.
He's how I would imagine Goldberg would wrestle if Goldberg wrestled that style,
Yeah, not
because Goldberg has that very stiff style, but he doesn't jump and fly and do all this other bullshit.
No,
that
he just beats your ass. That's just all he does. Yep.
So meanwhile, Goldust is he lost to Piper in an excellent match at WrestleMania 20. No, not 20. Why can't I think of the damn WrestleMania? WrestleMania 12, 1996.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 12?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Hollywood Backlot Brawl, a very underrated match. A lot of people hate it. I think it's awesome. Piper hits Goldust with a fucking bat to the face at one point.
Oh, man, yeah.
Piper holds nothing back.
Classic heel. Just creams him in the face.
Goldust actually runs him over at one point. It's excellent. Excellent match. Please watch it. Goldust, he has a lot of freedom, don't you think?
Goldust has a lot of creative freedom. I mean, I was thinking about this this morning, actually.
This morning.
I was thinking about it this morning, too. Could you imagine them trying to use this gimmick in 2015? It'd instantly be shot down. One, it's geared more towards kids. Two, the world is very, very...
A lot more accepting.
A
lot more accepting.
Well, accepting is one thing, and then, could you imagine the backlash that WWE would get for trying to do that gimmick, making it seem like a weird thing to be gay or transgendered, no one would accept that.
Hashtag cancel WWE Network.
Yeah, no one would accept that. And I mean, back in the day, I remember watching this and being like, man, who is this crazy guy with his paint and doing his whole weird self rub downs?
I really like this persona of Goldust.
Yeah, he's kind of a little psycho.
He's
psychotic.
Violent.
He's violent. He's very vindictive and vengeful, and it's really, really. I mean, he's great. I liked him in this time.
Later on, he's kind of that silly.
He kisses Ahmed.
And he's got the lipstick on, too.
Yeah, he kisses Ahmed.
Yeah, and then Ahmed throws a jobber through a door, which they put on the Raw intro, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I didn't even watch. I mean, I think that was a natural reaction to having gold lipstick on your mouth when you wake up. But it was an odd storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the most important thing with this Goldust character is the freedom he has. And a lot of people don't get this freedom.
Oh, man.
And this is an early attitude thing because I think we'll see it with Brian Pillman as well.
Yeah.
Maybe early Austin. Undertaker Mankind. I'm not sure. But I'm going to say Goldust is, he gets away with whatever the hell he wants.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And then that wouldn't work if Vince was saying, okay, we're going to do this today. Well, no, this is his character. He needs to... He's
got creative control over his character, which is huge for the time.
I mean, not creative control.
No, but...
Hogan style, but yeah.
No, well, did anyone really...
I'm going over.
I'm going over, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fucking Hogan.
They have a shit match. Okay, I think it was a good match.
It was okay.
Yeah. We're not doing...
Goldust works his ass off for Ahmed.
That's true.
Like, he really works his ass off for Ahmed because Ahmed's garbage, in my opinion.
And I'm happy that they get rid of this. I think this is the last. Let's hope it's the last. People are driven into a gay-hating rage.
Yeah, I think it's might not be the last, but it's...
Yeah.
I mean, it's so
Goldust,
stupid.
like, that's his mind games, but you shouldn't be like, I fucking hate Goldust because he tried to molest me. Like, no, you should hate Goldust because he's a weird motherfucker
who's a vindictive asshole.
Yes. He's really bitter and angry and great.
Yeah, he
blades a lot, but he does it hard way, so you get the blood and the gold short hair.
It's weird.
Love that.
Hope that wasn't lead-based paint.
I could just imagine. I imagine they have the paint on him, and then I'm sure that like, sometimes they'd fuck with him and remove the whatever the cleaner that he used.
Yeah.
Because I know they did that to Roddy Piper once at WrestleMania 6, where he had the black paint on one side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Andre the Giant took that the cleaner, so he actually had to go across the border, half black. I can just imagine Goldust doing that.
That's crazy.
But Goldust is he's such a master at what he does. He probably wouldn't give a fuck and would just wear the paint anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Anything Goldust at this time is
good.
Money.
It's very good.
It's money.
He had a pretty good feud with the Undertaker coming up too.
Yeah, because Mankind and the Undertaker are kind of trading. We'll get to Mankind and the Undertaker in a little bit.
Yep.
Let's talk Austin right now.
Austin wins the whole thing. Imagine if it was Triple H.
I know, what a world.
What a world.
Austin marries Stephanie.
Austin gets all of Triple H's storylines, and Triple H gets all of Austin's. Oh man,
probably still would have worked out.
Yeah, I think, which is weird.
The gimmicks could probably be
Triple H is a great heel. For all the things they say about Triple H, he pulls off the heel really well.
I think Triple H, I've never thought of it before, but I feel like Triple H could have done Austin's gimmick. Probably not to the justice that it deserves.
Not the same as Austin did it, but I think he could do a pretty good job.
In that 2001, 2000, where he's just a badass. He's that ridiculous jean jacket.
Oh, man, when he, fights The Undertaker in a WrestleMania, he's like, yeah, you tell him he's, on his bike.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think he could have done.
That jean jacket's great.
Email us and tell us this is a terrible idea, but anyway, so 316, they've talked about this on Austin's podcast. Triple H, he wasn't ready. He says he wasn't ready.
Yep.
But I think Austin and Triple H have both said this, and this is what they were talking about Roman Reigns. Even if you're not ready, fuck it.
You gotta go.
Or you're not gonna
get another chance.
I mean, unless you're Triple H.
Well, Triple H got another push in September, so I mean...
Unless you're Triple H.
Unless you're Triple H.
Unless you're friends with Shawn Michaels. And,
oh, God. And then banging the boss's daughter later.
You'll get the push next year.
Yep.
And the year after that.
And the year after that. Yeah. And it's 2015, and 19 years later, he's still getting pushes.
He literally gets a push every year after that point.
Except for 2001 when he's gone for, the whole year.
Oh, he would have feuded with Austin, though.
Oh, well, that feud would still have... They were the two-man power trip before he left, right?
Would have been a good feud.
So it would have been a great feud.
Yeah. And then we can talk... we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to all that. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I know. We're so excited about this.
Austin wins the whole thing. Great, iconic speech. Probably drove merchandise sales to peaks they have never been to at that point. Austin 316 shirts.
Yeah.
Through the roof. I had one of those in middle school because of that speech.
I had one, but I think mine was a shitty Walmart one.
Mine was the black one. I got it for Christmas, and I was the happiest kid.
I keep seeing it.
And I went around my house cutting Austin promos.
I keep seeing them on Shop Zone.
I kept going up. I was standing on my bed doing that promo.
Doing the 316 promo?
Yeah, the 316 promo. You talk about your Psalms and you thump your Bible.
Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
The first act, get that piece of trash out of my ring.
We'll play that.
It's a great moment.
I think you need to have that.
Yeah.
Just to listen to it.
Yep, great.
So Austin goes over Bob Holly, Mark Merrow. The living legend. Actually, no, that's not. That's Larry Zbyszko.
That's Larry Zbyszko.
The Caribbean legend, Savio Vega.
Oh, Savio Vega.
And finally, Jake Roberts.
Yep.
And Jake Roberts goes over Triple H.
The drunk Jake Roberts.
This is why when you look at this, you can kind of see the path that might have been taken. Roberts, Triple H, JBL, Vader.
Well, yeah. That's true, yeah.
I wonder what he would have done with Vader. Whatever, doesn't matter. Looking at their roster for the King of the Ring. Sorry, I'm just taking this back. Just a quick second. You have Ahmed, Vader, Goldust, Warrior, Triple H, Jake Roberts, JBL as Justin
Hawk Bradshaw. Yep.
JBH. Henry O'Godwin, who will become Midian one day. Naked Midian.
Naked Midian later. That guy got jerked around so much in his gimmick.
He was good buddies with Undertaker, you know?
Yeah, well,
They were part of the backstage crew.
Yeah, I don't blame
the
him.
tattoo and everything.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. He still has that dumbass tattoo.
Oh.
He's the worst stable. It was the backstage crew.
Oh, yeah, that's a terrible
with
stable.
Like Yokozuna, Undertaker, Midian.
Yokozuna.
Mabel.
Oh, God.
I think it was Mabel.
Yeah.
Los Barocos. I think that's Savio, too.
For those of you that aren't following at this point, that's Viscera. Or Big Daddy V. Big Daddy Cool.
Big Daddy Dead.
Or Big Daddy more like dead now because he ate too much.
Poor guy. I think his widow is actually
My mistake, Big Daddy Cool, we all know, is Diesel.
Yeah?
Yeah. I said Big Daddy Cool.
Or Kane. Or Kane. Could be Kane as well.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Cool. Isaac Yankem.
God damn it.
Anyway.
The dentist gimmick.
Austin, he gets busted open by Mark Marrow.
Yep.
Hard way. He gets kicked in the face because Mark Marrow does this very strange handstand pin that I tried to do on Garrett earlier.
It's awful. Who cleared that as an idea? Yeah. That's a terrible, terrible maneuver.
I think Vince was just paying attention to
Vince probably just wanted to yell "What a maneuver" when he said it, when he did the pin, so he made him do a handstand.
What a maneuver. He got him.
No, he didn't.
No, but I'm assuming Marrow was probably showing it to Vince, and Vince was just watching Sable the entire time.
Oh, entirely. Marrow's trying to put himself over, and the only way he can do that is with Sable at ringside.
God. Mrs. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it sucks to be Marrow.
Sucks to be Sable. She probably lives in the middle of nowhere now and has to eat, moose for dinner every night.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with moose. Moose is delicious.
When Brock goes to,
Two Canadians talking about moose meat.
I've never had it. Have you?
I have, yeah.
Oh,
it's great.
Oh, we're getting off topic.
And bear.
And bear?
Yeah,
I've had
bear
buffalo.
Too.
That's as crazy
Bison
as
burgers?
Yeah. Buffalo steak, actually. It was very...
Nice.
Kind
it's
of
gamey. It's gamey, yeah.
Whatever that means, but yeah, it was good.
It's more... you can taste, the wilderness when you eat it.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you can say it.
That's the only way you can say it.
Anyway, Austin gets stitched up.
Yep.
He goes backstage. Jake Roberts has just beaten... I don't know if he... Yeah, it was probably before he got squashed by Vader, because Vader just beats the shit out of him.
Oh, man. It was brutal.
So... Did he beat JBL in this pay-per-view? No. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, correct me, I don't care. Jake Roberts says, cuts a promo about how he's a changed man. He's a Bible-fearing... They should have brought Jake Roberts as a heel at this point.
Yeah.
A born-again Christian gimmick is not going to draw money. Sorry,
Shawn Michaels.
It won't. I mean, Shawn Michaels. Fuck, I'm wrong, aren't I?
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone actually likes that part of Shawn Michaels' character. They just
I'm wrong. Vince McMahon versus the McMahons versus Shawn Michaels and his tag team partner, God.
God, where are you going, God? Come back here. Shawn Michaels needs you.
Man, that was such a bad lead up too.
He mocks God.
Lightning strikes the ramp as an act of God himself to protect Shawn Michaels. Thank you, mid-2000s WWE, for that garbage.
So Austin says, he goes to Michael Hayes. He says, what did Jake say? Either Austin went to the hospital or he just got stitched up backstage. He says he went to the hospital, but, I mean...
For his
lip,
right? Yeah, because it was, swollen for, 4 weeks
They could probably do that backstage. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably did.
Well, 4 weeks. It
was one
night,
taping.
Yeah, right?
It was one taping.
And,
that's terrible.
Yeah, so he says, what'd he say? And Michael Hayes says this. And Austin says, I've got it. And he comes up with... Do you want to call it an attitude adjustment? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, except I don't like plugging John Cena.
I know, but it's it's kind of a A rib on John Cena?
Yeah, I guess
or
it
a
is.
tongue-in-cheek?
By the way, fuck you, John Cena.
Anyway, hopefully we have a nice little shiny attitude adjustment. But we probably won't, because we're lazy and...
With the shiny voiceover.
You know, this is an attitude adjustment. Let's just steal this back from John Cena. I want to call this, like, what makes this era this era.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of them coming up, especially in like the late 1999 to 2001. There's a lot of them.
Motherfucker, did I write this down? There it is.
Yeah, you did.
This promo, it feels authentic, and it is one of the few ones where we didn't talk about Austin before this.
No, inspired by Michael Hayes.
Inspired by the Freebird. So was the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yep.
And the...
Michael Hayes did a lot of things for wrestling.
And the kick to the gut.
It doesn't get
before
enough
the
credit.
Stone Cold Steve Austin Stunner.
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin Stunner.
The Fang McFrost Stunner.
The Chili McFreeze. Austin wasn't a big mic guy before this.
Only because they never really gave him the opportunity.
They didn't know.
They had no idea.
But they're morons because he was excellent in WCW. I'm going to just,
Maybe that's why they didn't give him time, because he was in WCW doing it. They wanted to try something different
He was
by
great.
having him not talk.
Even with my limited WCW knowledge, I know he was great at.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Dangerous Alliance, Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman.
Yep.
He did his own thing.
Oh, man, Brian Pillman, God bless you.
Before Hacksaw Jim Duggan ran him over.
Too soon.
ECW. He went to ECW and all he did was talk. Mm-hmm. Considering the connection with Heyman and Vince, I don't know if they're this locked in with each other at this point. Probably not.
Probably not.
But he should have had a good idea of what Austin could have done at this point.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, this is what did it. So.
Yeah. Austin says this is the one where Vince kind of gets an idea that he can speak.
He can speak.
Because before that, you'll
Thank
see,
God. Could you imagine?
Well, he was great. I'm not going to do the voice.
Yeah, he was great technically.
He was a great technician.
Yep.
And that's what Vince wanted. He wanted a ring guy, the ringmaster.
Oh, God.
And what was it? He couldn't wear black. They said, you can't wear black. Diesel wears black. Diesel doesn't wear fucking trunks.
That's such a great reason.
wears
Diesel
tights.
wears black. You can't do that. So what are they going to say? Like, I want you to wear red. No, you can't do that. Ahmed Johnson wears red.
Well, I think Triple H actually buried Umaga once because Umaga was wearing black.
Really?
Yeah, this is
Oh, my
so
Lord.
Weird. It's one of those weird.
R.I.P.
things.
Umaga, by the way.
Fuck, I can't believe he's dead. Too.
Yep.
This speech, I think, is so important. He gets to talk about being WWF champion when he has no long-term prospects to be.
They weren't even going to push him.
And he gets to talk about Jake's drinking, which is great.
Oh man, there's a lot more of that to come. The King's money on some of those things.
You know what? I love Jake Roberts, but he's a fucking hypocrite at this time. I heard in Brett's book, and I'm sure Brett's book is just
Yeah.
But he says, like, on the South African tour, which is where Brett is at this point in time, that he'd see Jake coming back with hookers and drunk as a skunk and winking at Brett.
Look, man, it doesn't surprise me.
God.
It doesn't surprise me.
Jesus. At least he's got his shit together at this point in time on March 29th, 2015. So, Jake, do not fall off the wagon while we do this. We're going to look foolish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're plugging you and you're going to let us down.
So Austin, he gets, this is almost a kick in the ass to Vince's production, because he says, he gets to say, gets to say ass, he gets to say crap, he gets to drop all these swears. Sorry, I'm just a little lost right now.
No, that's fine. I mean,
Fuck it. It's important. That's all I got to say about that.
It's important because it tells Vince and the company that they're behind on the times.
Fair enough.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because they were, and it was a big, like you said, a big kick in the ass to tell them, like, look, you got to do this, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah.
The crowd just lost their mind.
They popped.
Like, well, mostly because the crowd had never heard something like
you
that
see
before.
Doc Hendricks actually look at the crowd and like, what the fuck?
The crowd had never heard someone come out and do a promo like that before.
Yep.
And it worked so well.
So authentic.
So authentic and great.
So authentic.
The crowd really bought it. They bought everything he was selling.
I don't think there was anything like that before this.
Nope, I don't think so either.
But a lot of people will emulate this later.
Yeah. Oh, it's a staple.
Yep.
That's why it's an attitude adjustment.
Attitude adjustment. You're feeling it now. You're going to say it. Okay, cool.
I'm going to plug it.
Fuck it. All right, Austin, you've had enough time here. Let's move on.
You've had your time.
What were we going to talk about? I'm going to jump to the Undertaker Mankind feud.
Yeah.
Because
Good enough.
I fucking love this storyline. It is the best storyline ever.
Period.
All right, Tenacious D
Tenacious D,
reference.
another plug there.
In case anyone's ever seen that movie. Which,
If you haven't, go watch it. What are you doing?
Undertaker didn't really... Is it fair to say that Undertaker isn't really doing anything since 1991?
No, not really. I mean, he came in his debut and kicked ass, and then...
Wins the title.
Yeah, and like he'd been at... I'm not sure this time how many WrestleManias he'd been at. Like 7 or 8?
We got to be accurate here. He fights... come on, I know them all. Snuka?
No, it can't be that many because it's only WrestleMania 12 and he's only been around for 5 years.
Roberts, the legend,
Yep.
Giant Gonzalez,
John Gonzalez, yeah.
the dead legend, Giant Gonzalez,
Papa
Hall of
Shango?
Famer next year, King Kong Bundy,
Yeah.
and he misses, and Diesel, and so he's missed one.
So he's 5. Should be 5.
5-0 right now.
Yeah.
Even though no one knows.
No one's counting it at this time.
Otherwise, they would have ended it and ruined it. By,
Oh, man. Could you imagine a WrestleMania legacy without the streak? Oh, wait. We're there now.
I know,
Thanks, Brock Lesnar.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the 21-2 match or
Yeah,
the
where-
22-1.
Yeah, but I hope it, I love the Undertaker.
You
I
should
love
just
him,
lose.
but I hope it's 21-2 because nothing would get Bray Wyatt over more than a plug from the Undertaker before he leaves.
But then it doesn't make the Undertaker look, or make Brock Lesnar look special in beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
That's true. You're not
You
wrong.
gotta
You're
do
not
that.
wrong there. You're not wrong. I mean, the Undertaker's got to come out in his walker for this match, so
He's been looking fairly ripped lately.
he's gone back to the gym though. He's
Yeah.
doing it. He's I think when he faced Lesnar, he was still like really feeling some injuries.
Anyway, we're getting off on
Yeah.
a tangent. I'm sure WrestleMania will be in the books long after you've listened to this.
Hopefully not that long.
You can listen to our... Yeah, let's get this out tomorrow morning. Undertaker Mankind. How long does this feud go on for? Although it abruptly ends. It never happens
It ends
again.
very quickly. I mean, it still goes on past Mind Games because like he appears and,
but
interferes.
they
but-
go until 1998.
Do they?
Yep.
Is it that long?
They go into 1999 because they
Well-
feud with the Rock and Sock Connection.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
And then he retires. So I'm sure American Badass Undertaker would have beat the shit out of Mankind.
Oh
too, so,
man, yeah.
Well,
He had to leave after that injury when he was with the Ministry, and then come back as a different persona.
you hated the Ministry gimmick. I can't wait to talk about that. Hated it.
Yeah, I know it's great.
Mankind's brought in because the Undertaker really has no one to fight with. He's going to beat Diesel at WrestleMania.
Yep.
He has that cool Phantom of the Opera mask in 1995 because Mabel broke his face.
Oh yeah,
You remember that?
I do. Oh man.
His backstage crew partner broke his face. And yeah, you have the Godfather as Kama, the supreme fighting machine. King Kong Bundy, like
The Godfather.
the $1 Million Corporation. Oh my God, a year ago, and this is the shit we had to watch. Thank God we didn't start in 1995.
That would have been your fault.
There is one match in 1995, and you can tell me I'm an idiot if you feel like it. If you like the Attitude Era and you want that feeling, Survivor Series 1995, Bret Hart versus Diesel is excellent.
Oh, yeah, it's a good match.
Excellent match. There's a I think it's one of the first table bumps ever. And Diesel says the F word several times. It's great. And he turns heel.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't watch anything from 1995. It's shit. Oh, there's a good ladder match,
Yeah, it was okay.
I'm getting out there. Who cares? And then before this, HBK versus Diesel, Good Friends, Better Enemies, has a very similar style. I think Bret actually said that Diesel and HBK stole his match, which that's Bret Hart for you.
Yeah.
They probably did. Although Bret didn't hit Diesel in the face with a leg, someone's leg, artificial leg from ringside. Mad Dog Sean's.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He takes his prosthetic leg off and hits him in the face with it.
What a great time that was.
Wrestling, everyone.
Oh man.
I hope they gave it back to them. Mm-hmm. Threw it into the crowd.
Someone got a great souvenir. It was a prosthetic leg.
Anyway, so Mankind is Mick Foley, Cactus Jack. He's been...
Dude love.
Yes. He doesn't have any other gimmicks, does he?
I think he is a walking gimmick.
Yeah, he's recovered quite nicely ever since his,
Stint in TNA.
Fuck me. Fucking TNA.
Why does every WWEF legend go over to TNA and ruin themselves?
It's
over
okay.
there?
It's okay. TNA has no more money. They can't do it anymore.
Good. Thanks for coming back to WWE, Bubba Ray, though. Great pop for that, though, when that happened at the Royal Rumble.
Actually, they'll probably all go to New Japan now. That's the new thing.
Yeah. I marked like a bitch, though.
I remember. And then they threw Daniel Bryan out a minute later.
It was just great to see Bubba Ray come back unexpectedly and see the crowd still go crazy.
It was great. The best part is Vince just being like, yeah, you're really over as Bully Ray, but we're going to need you to wear this old Dudley Boy costume.
Oh, man. He loved it, too. I talked to him backstage after, and he loved it. He's like, I hope I can come back here. And
After I make a fuck ton of money in New Japan and have sex with Velvet Sky.
With Velvet Sky.
Repeatedly.
What the hell? He's also directed porn.
What?
Yeah, he was on, that's one of the Jericho podcasts I actually listened to, and he's been saying he's directed a couple porns.
I don't want to see him on the other side of the camera.
Just terrible production value. Handheld, shaky camera, Blair Witch porn.
Davon, get the dildos. Okay, good.
Oh, man, right off topic. All right.
Mankind
Yep.
is brought in, and he thinks he's coming in as Cactus Jack in 1995.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
Mick Foley's book, Have a Nice Day. If you haven't read this book, just fuck off. Read the book.
Just fuck off.
I'm trying to make my girlfriend read it, so...
No, it's a great book.
Great book. If you don't want to read the ECW, WCW stuff, just flip through it. I always flip through the early shit about how he became a wrestler. I don't care about
Foley
that.
is God.
I like to hear about how Vader threw him through concrete.
Oh,
and
man.
stuff. Fun stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so he goes to meet Vince in his office, and he's a little nervous because you're supposed to meet Vince in his house if he really likes you. And Jericho will end up meeting Vince in his house later on. And they have a fight over brownies, which is
1001 holds.
Great story. I'm looking forward to telling. And Vince goes, "Okay, we're gonna make you Manson the Mutilator."
Oh, God.
And
Who let...
and he calls him Mike.
Yeah.
This is Mike.
Yeah, who lets Vince name anything?
And
hey, we could be watching, by the way, everyone, we could be watching the Colossal Tussle 31 right now.
Featuring where's Daniel Bryan? Lloyd Boner. Or was it Buddy Peacock? I think would have.
And
made him a star.
Vader would have been Mastodon.
And
Fang McFrost as Stone Cold Steve Austin as Fang McFrost.
It's bad.
He's just bad. He's just bad.
I think Buddy Peacock. I think there's money there. Or Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't get over. You go back. They've fixed it quite a bit.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
So number one, Mick is being called Mike by Vince. And Mick, I love this story. He doesn't correct him because he's like, I can't correct him
because I want a job.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
And then he's not cool with the gimmick. They want him to fight The Undertaker because The Undertaker really doesn't have anyone
To fight.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything right now.
If you look at this roster, there's no one he could fight. If
No.
you take Mankind out, you think he could fight Goldust? Maybe.
That'd be an interesting feud.
And they do. They fight.
Yep, they do.
But that's basically it. So Mick isn't really sure about it, but he actually starts making the gimmick his own.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reoccurring theme we find here. Quality where it comes from when you care about your own gimmick and you control your own gimmick and you don't let other people fuck with you.
We're looking at you, Steve Austin.
So Mick says, I don't want to be called Manson. I don't want to be Mason. I don't want to be the Mutilator. He's actually quite nice about this. You should read his book. He says, I want to be Mankind. And then he comes up with this on the spot. Like, I can save Mankind. All this is because Mankind. I think he was actually going to be called Mason the Mankind the Mutilator.
Oh my God.
I think they were still kind of into the Mutilator.
Vince, leave the Mutilator alone. Come on.
And what else? He changes the mask a bit. It was supposed to be a little Hannibal Lecter-esque. He changes the mask. He adds the piano music. You know, the double.
Oh, that's
That's his idea.
It's a good theme.
He comes up with all the idea of Mankind in this room, the boiler room. That's his home, and all the screaming that.
I hate that. That's the only part of the gimmick I don't like.
Sorry to anyone.
It's just
whose ears I just blew out.
Yeah, and playing No Mercy, which is the greatest wrestling game of all time, and fuck you if you think otherwise. Every time I'd go for the hardcore title, you had to face Mankind. and you would just be repeatedly punching him because he's Mankind. You would do like 16 finishers on him and he'd still get up. And every time you hit him, he'd do that stupid like pig squeal. And to the point where I would just mute the TV when I was playing the game against him because I couldn't handle it. I think I was going crazy listening to Mankind be crazy.
I'm looking forward to getting into No Mercy stories.
Oh, they're great.
I used to use Perry Saturn, and Perry Saturn has a leg twist or something.
Taka Michinoku.
One of them has a leg sweep, and you can, if you put a chair on the A and the B buttons, you can win the Royal Rumble just by leg sweeping people. And that's how I unlocked like Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels, all the big, Linda McMahon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
The Ho.
The Ho. I think Head.
Also known as Victoria. Hey, moving on.
Yeah. Well, she was.
Yeah.
It's fair. Anyway, so Mankind comes in, debuts night after WrestleMania 12. What is wrong with me?
It's 12. It's 12.
WrestleMania 12. We're not editing any of this out. You're going to hear me say it wrong every time.
And it's great. Just go with it.
He beats up Bob Sparkplug Holly.
Oh my God.
Sparky Plug.
Sparky the Plug.
And then he goes after The Undertaker that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
Which is impressive. And he actually takes him out. He uses a mandible claw, which he also came up with. Again, another thing, people building their own gimmicks here.
God, Mankind was such a good gimmick.
He's wrestling The Undertaker. This is their first match together, and they're going to have a lot of matches during this podcast. Like, we will come back to this Undertaker Mankind. I think
We're saying nothing of the Hell in the Cell yet.
I think we'll see them wrestle 4 times within the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
At least on pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view, yep.
And then they'll be all over the place. And then, yeah. And then they take a breather, but they're just going at each other. They actually fight each other so often, and they have to keep slotting Goldust in there to.
Yeah, he's always he's like the weird third wheel.
And there's some sort of family dynamic between Mankind and Goldust and Paul Bearer. Sorry, spoilers. But you don't really see it a lot on TV. Is it on Superstars or something?
Which?
Do you remember?
No. What do you?
He's like Goldust is his mommy.
Oh yeah, that's such a weird.
And they don't really show it.
Yeah,
it happens occasionally.
It's such a weird.
I think it's on Superstars or something, some stupid show that we don't have access to because we don't really want to watch it anyway.
It's such a bizarre thing,
bizarre one.
The bizarre one is
Goldust,
bizarre. Yeah. Bizarre one is bizarre.
He's bizarre. This match is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, unprotected chair shot to Mankind after the stair bump and the chest and the concrete thing.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said chest there.
He does a great concrete splash.
Oh, great splash!
It's not no DQ though, right?
No, which is we mentioned this when we were talking about it before. There's 3 chair shots, and it's a regular match. It's a regular 1 fall match. And he gets chair shotted 3 times.
And I think JR and King are kind of thinking he's going to get disqualified.
Yeah.
And, he's got a chair shot.
Yeah.
And, Mankind, he beats him.
He goes over,
beats him clean.
He looks very good.
Actually, no, he doesn't beat him clean. Paul Bearer hits him with an urn.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
That heel turn.
Which they mentioned the next night on Raw.
Yeah.
We'll get to this in SummerSlam. I think it's actually better to talk about.
Yep.
But I think this is really important because you see this awesome brawling style.
Yeah.
But you have that really old, stupid, purple-gloved Undertaker, brown turd costume Mankind.
Yeah.
But you're going to get that Attitude Era brawling where every match has, chair shots, no DQs, table spot, the concrete stuff. Into the crowd.
Yeah, man.
It's cool. It's cool, little, look into the future there.
Yep. What else happened? This is where we put down, DDP said he liked this feud when he was in WCW, and he told Eric Bischoff that he said that the Mankind Undertaker feud meant that the WWF wasn't dead yet.
Yep. I think he said, this is drawing money, bro.
Yeah.
And then Bischoff is like, I have the NWO, so shut the fuck up.
Shut up, DDP.
Shut the fuck up.
And then when we initially watched it, you didn't really know what was going on with Mankind's gimmick. And I'm not sure what he is. I like to think of him as, at this point, he's like a schizophrenic. He hears voices, and he it makes more sense than have him just being a handicap.
Well, that's his theme music. He's schizophrenic.
Yeah,
it's the Jim Johnson.
Yeah, it makes more sense that he's a schizo and hears voices than.
I fucking love that theme music. It's beautiful.
It's great.
And the piano music afterwards.
Oh man, It's so good.
I always wait for Mankind to win so I can hear his theme music.
Yeah.
The piano music.
Better than the coming up like.
Yeah, fuck that. There's
with the car crash, the Razor Ramon car crash at the beginning.
Yeah, no, there's a good one just before he wins the title, where he has like a remix version.
Yeah.
It's got like a beat to it. I love that one.
Yeah,
but he only uses it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess that's it for King of the Ring.
King of the Ring.
We could have talked about Sean and Bulldog, but that's not very interesting.
Yeah.
Warrior versus
Lawler.
Why
is Warrior still here?
I guess that'll give us a good way to jump into our next thing here.
Yeah.
The Warrior is for some strange reason still around.
He just doesn't fit in the era to me. His character is old, and I can understand for people that have been watching since like 1989, they want to see the Warrior. But like this is 96, you're getting a new crop of fans involved, you're introducing new characters, and the Warrior's just kind of this dude that still runs to the ring and shakes the ropes and, all that stuff, and he just doesn't fit.
And he's got the ridiculous 90s.
Feel free to tell us if we're wrong. Like, we might not listen to what you have to say.
Well,
we will.
I might apologize if I was wrong.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good argument.
No fighting with the fans before we even have any fans. Then we can become assholes like everyone else who, mocks the fans on air. I always hate that. I don't want to.
Yeah, don't mock the fans.
No mocking the fans. Unless they're real douchebags about things. The Warrior, he's got those airbrushed jackets on. He's clearly not well.
He's not.
He's on the juice.
Yeah.
He's juicing.
Oh, man, he's juicing so hard.
He has a ridiculous 90s perm. He can't cut promos.
Oh, God.
I mean, he can cut Warrior promos, but...
Yeah.
Did you ever see... Let's just cut back real quick. Back in the day when they were burying him on the Ultimate Warrior DVD, Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yeah?
They had a great segment where the King was hating on him, and it was because he was going to give him this glass portrait painting of the Warrior, because King's an artist, he can draw.
Yeah.
And he was gonna give it to the Warrior, give it to him. And the Warrior comes out in that segment in a fucking baseball hat.
Oh, really?
Yes. He comes out in a baseball
man.
hat. And the King's like, the Warrior never wore a baseball hat ever before this. Ever. And he's got this Warrior baseball cap on, and he's still in, his Warrior outfit.
What the hell?
It's not like he's wearing jeans or anything.
That's really weird.
And he's got the baseball hat just because when he breaks the painting over his head, he doesn't get glass in his hair. It gets...
Oh, my God.
Hilarious. Telegraph that. It was great. So let's talk about, because during this time period, we are going to be seeing some very interesting stuff on Nitro. So we might jump back and forth. We might not.
We might not.
It's Raw in Green Bay. It never seems to end.
4 weeks of Wisconsin.
Our notes by this, while we were typing this, oh my God,
Green Bay?
We're still in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And Garrett's a Packers fan, so he was amused by the Packers shout out by Jim Cornette.
Oh yeah, saying they're garbage in 96?
Yep.
This is the year they won the Super Bowl with Brett Favre, and he said they should be ashamed of their Packers team because they're garbage. And they just won. They just won the Super Bowl.
It's good. Good
call out by Cornette there. That was great.
Good.
I was, as a Packers fan, I was really upset, and that's exactly what he wanted to do.
There you go. I'm going to give you a little Packers shout out.
Cornette was great. I don't care what anyone says. I liked Cornette.
Yeah, speaking of Cornette, I'm actually looking forward to discussing him during the invasion because he had some hilariously bad ideas for the invasion.
Oh, yeah?
As a booker, Cornette is a crazy person who wants everyone to wrestle 1 hour Broadways and go up against Dusty Rhodes. He was going to have Dusty Rhodes in the invasion.
Oh, God.
Kind of want to read this card right now. Is there any way we can pause this? Nah, that's okay. We'll get to it at the division. It's good stuff. It's hilarious stuff. We're talking about the Warrior leaving. It was ridiculous.
Thank God, kind of.
It made everything so much better.
Yeah. Sorry to the Warrior fans out there.
Well,
I mean, at this time...
I like the Warrior, and I think he's got a nice spot now that he's dead.
Oh my God!
I don't mean to be callous.
Yeah.
I mean, we were having fun with the Warrior statue at the Hall of Fame, we're kidding.
The life-size Warrior statue.
The life-size.
The 8 foot tall.
How's that not life-size?
It's not life-size.
Well,
That was,
maybe.
his head was under his armpit.
WWE revisionists. I mean,
Revisionist history.
anyway, so the Warrior, we were watching Raw one day, like as if we were watching it at the time, and they actually have one of those call number things.
Find out why the Warrior's in trouble.
And JR's making me pay for this. All the money probably.
And it's like
goes to
$1.49 a minute too.
$1.49. It probably takes forever to set up your call.
$1.49 in '96 too.
Yeah,
like that's pretty crazy.
And you can find out why the Warrior is in the doghouse with the WWF.
Yeah.
And it was largely because he kept missing shows.
No showing.
He was no showing house shows,
Yep.
which he claimed was, I think it was a little like kind of a power move, a political power move here.
Mm-hmm.
He was unhappy with, he was
unhappy with everything.
No, but they were using his merchandise. He had a slogan.
Yeah. He was upset they were using his slogans.
His awesome slogans that would have generated millions of dollars if the WWE hadn't stolen them.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm being sarcastic. And I don't know. He's not happy with it, so he does this to get a power play. He starts no showing, kind of just to send a message, and then Vince says, "Well, I'm going to suspend your ass. You also have to pay me this money for a, can you believe this? A friggin' like what is it? A guarantee? What the hell is it? I have it written down somewhere here.
A guarantee for what?
Yeah, God, I can't speak. It's a bond."
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Which is for the benefit of the fans, apparently. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you a look right now. It was for the benefit of Vince, so he could make money.
Oh God.
And send a message to Warrior, and the Warrior is like, "Well, fuck you. My father died, you asshole." And Vince is like, "Well, you didn't really like your father, so fuck you."
Oh man, Vince just throwing it back in his face.
Great comeback. And it's true. Apparently, Warrior never spoke to his father. So the Warrior, I think, is done. We're never going to see him again until
he gets fucking buried.
Yeah, we don't see him
Raw.
again.
Like they recut the commentary over top, like dub the commentary over top of the Warrior Owen match.
Yeah. So this is
this is Raw. This is right after Bash at the Beach.
So I wonder if they were just playing around. You just know they weren't doing this because of Hulk Hogan or any of that.
No.
They were just doing it because of Warrior. So this episode, it literally opens with Gorilla Monsoon saying, "The Warrior is no showed. He's got to post his appearance bond." They publicly say all this.
Yeah, for the fans.
And then they redub all the commentary. So instead of the Warrior coming out and fighting Owen, Vince and Lawler just talk about how much controversy there is.
Oh, they bury him.
They bury the fuck out of him.
They bury him.
And he loses. He
gets beat by Owen Hart.
Well, I don't know if Owen beats him or if there's a DQ or anything. I didn't write it down. I don't care. He loses. I think he gets beat down by the Camp Cornette. He's actually supposed to show up again at some point in the tapings.
Really?
Yeah, and he was supposed to run down and clear everyone, but they just edited that out.
That never happened. Yeah.
Which is why a lot of the episodes here will have weird things, like a 5-minute Undertaker music video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, because they're doing one live show and then 4 tapings.
The Warrior gets injured in the tapings. He's supposed to come out, but he doesn't. They double-crossed him. They edited it out. So, this leads into our next point. Now that the Warrior's gone and won't be back until 2014, when he dies.
R.I.P.
3 days later.
When Vince killed him.
Vince killed him because he was still upset about this.
He's still mad.
But now there's a giant statue of him. Life-size.
A life-size statue of the Warrior.
Of the Warrior.
The 8-foot-tall Warrior statue.
Yes, it's out and there. Oh, shit. So they need a guy to come back and
reinvigorate the crowd.
Reinvigorate the crowd after the Warrior has gone. They need a new hero, and they look to my boy Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious.
Or Psycho
Sid.
Sid Vicious is the guy who stabs Arn Anderson with scissors in WCW, or attacks Brian Pillman with a squeegee.
Yeah,
good stories. Sean and Ahmed Johnson are just sitting backstage, shirtless. They're backstage at the WW Studios because they clearly recorded all this bullshit.
Yeah. Which is hilarious.
It's so weird. And it eats up so much time. So they must have had a lot of Warrior stuff on this episode.
Yeah, they probably did that to eat up Warrior.
Or maybe they just cut a Stone Cold Steve Austin match or something. Yeah, we don't.
Still coming out without music though.
Yeah.
He's getting that jobber entrance.
Yeah, we always see him in the ring, but that's not what we're talking about. Sid Sid is actually hanging out behind Ahmed Johnson
The whole
entire
time. You can see him.
And Ahmed Johnson at some point moves, and Sid's there, and he cuts a nonsensical promo that even Ahmed Johnson would be proud. I'm not sure what he says. You just see his mouth moving, like, and Jim Cornette's got the big, like, fuck this company face.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
And
Jim Cornette pulled that off really well every time.
Probably legitimately.
Yeah, like, you brought back Sid, are you serious?
And the crowd, there's no crowd. I don't know why the crowd goes crazy when this happens.
Because there's no crowd?
There's no crowd to see it. Anyway, Sid's back, and they're doing some cool stuff with
Run show. Like, he's so over.
He's has a lot of the elements of the attitude, with the... You take it for granted now, but the music hits, and he runs out and brawls with people. Mm-hmm. His music also is awesome. It's the
you like that music.
I love that music.
You're a big fan.
One of my favorites.
You're a big fan.
One of my favorites. I'm gonna actually splice this in, splicing in the music right now. All right, if we didn't, it's because we're lazy.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, it's true. So Sid has this great intensity. Softball season must be over.
Yeah,
so
he
because he seems motivated.
Yeah,
he seems motivated. Doesn't seem like he wants to run off.
His team got eliminated.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Garrett that they should have just let him play softball.
Yeah,
during the WWE.
God,
just let him do it.
They should have done it.
Just have everyone in the WWE play softball with him, and then he will never leave.
Make a team for Sid,
and then he would have never broken his leg, and we'd still have Sid today.
Would we? Would he still be around?
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a far stretch.
Well, WWE, that's a fucking Big Show, and Kane are still around in this day and age.
50-year-old jobbers.
I love Sid. I love him. He's crazy as a shithouse rat, and they're not afraid to solo. They're not afraid.
No, they're not. That drive-in.
Well, I mean, they're not. I love that scene. So, okay, what Garrett's saying there is at some point. And we keep saying like this. You'll see this later. You're gonna see this later in the Attitude Era. There's a brawl, and it's clearly like edited because they have no.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, Sean goes backstage and he high fives Ahmed Johnson like he just came back from the match. And I think he's wearing different trunks though. I'm probably lying about that. And then all of a sudden, Camp Cornette starts attacking them
back in the parking lot.
And then all of a sudden, Sid's music plays in the parking lot, and he drives the
shittiest car
into the
I've ever seen,
and starts brawling with people. And that's how the episode ends. It's awesome.
This was a big moment for me when I really knew that Sid was over, because he's on screen for 5 seconds. I counted it. Mm-hmm. 5 seconds in this Raw taping. 5 seconds, he gets out of his car, throws like 2 punches, and the camera fades, and that's the end of the episode. And the crowd didn't even see him, and they heard his music and lost their mind.
How do you think they did that crowd? Because this show's in the can right now.
They've got I don't know. Maybe they taped a WCW crowd.
Well, do you think Sid actually appeared before this crowd at all? Or was it just like,
who knows? Who knows? I think they know he's, like, maybe they were expecting him to come out. But then he just showed up backstage.
His music is awesome.
Yeah.
Him running people over with a piece of shit car is awesome.
Yeah.
We'll see him get more and more over. He hits his peak at Madison Square Garden in November. I'm looking forward to that.
What a peak it is.
Greatest entrance of all time.
What a peak it is.
He fist bumps every single person in the crowd.
Every person in the crowd gets a fist bump from Sid.
And they all tell him he's the man.
I really wish I was there.
In 1996?
Yeah. When I was 7 years old.
Yeah, it would have been good.
He definitely would have fist bumped me because I was a child.
He, like, oh my God.
I wonder if he would have just broken my wrist with a fist bump.
He's so intense. We'll get there. Anything here? Sid's very popular?
Sid's ridiculously over. Sunny's everywhere at this time. Like, at this point in time, she's running like 3 tag teams.
Yeah.
And she's surrounded herself with champions. Like, she's running the tag team champions. She's got like the Intercontinental. Is it the Intercontinental Club? No.
But she's trying to.
She's trying to. Like, she's trying to get every championship. She's trying to manage all of them.
And she, I think she's one of 3 women at this point.
Yeah, I think
there's Sable and Marley.
Yeah, so there's 3, I think.
Yeah.
3 that get really good, like, promo.
I can't think of any other ones.
Till Cloudy shows up for 2 weeks.
Cool, Cloudy. So Sunny, let's talk about Sunny real quick. She gets attention that you don't even see today.
The first real diva, they say.
Yeah, there's definitely the diva element there. I can kind of get a vibe of her as like a Stacy or maybe not a Tori Wilson. I'm trying to think. That Stacy's probably the best bet there. The camera will focus on her during entrances of her teams.
Yeah,
she will talk to the camera.
She's a draw.
The camera cuts back to her. Like
She is very underrated on the mic, I think.
Sunny?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When she was doing commentary, like everything she said was money.
They stick her in the commentary position quite often, and she will
kill it.
She gets to do whatever the hell she wants.
Do you think two men can keep Sunny satisfied?
No.
One of the greatest lines ever.
Yeah,
and also proved that backstage many times.
Many times for cocaine.
Here's looking at you, Shawn Michaels.
Please don't sue me, Shawn Michaels. We
love you.
Does Lana have this right now? I don't watch a lot of current stuff. So.
I don't know if Lana has this. I mean, like, they've given Lana the mic a lot to talk, but I think Lana's got a shitload of heat. But so does Rusev.
She's over.
She's very over.
Brother. She's over, brother.
She's over, brother.
But do they
get her heat back?
I'm curious if they cut to her during the matches, because that's another thing that's weird with Sunny, where you're like, fuck the match. I want to see what Sunny
I don't know if they've done it as much with Lana now. Like, I think they're really trying to focus on Rusev.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Sunny, like, every match, it was like, it would just cut to her, and as soon as the camera wouldn't even be focusing on her, and you could still hear her yelling at the opposing team.
Or Shawn Michaels will tell her to shut the fuck up.
Or Shawn Michaels will do a shoot and go, shut the fuck up, and she will stop talking.
Sometimes she takes away the heat from certain wrestlers, but
sometimes she adds to it, though. Like when she was with the Smoking Guns.
I don't think anyone would give a shit about the Smoking Guns other than the fact that Sunny.
Yeah, well, when she was with the Smoking Guns, and they were facing Owen Hart and the Bulldog, and they lost. Like, one of my favorite parts of that match is when the camera zoomed out, and you can just hear her berating the Bulldog when he's in the corner trying to get up. She's like, oh, what's the matter, big guy? Like, all this stuff. It's like, that added so much to the match that would have otherwise been like, yeah, this is okay.
Well, I mean,
crowd marked like a bitch when they won, too.
Crowd loves them.
Oh, crowd loves
them. Well, no jumping in mind games. That's episode 2 here. But, I mean, there's a great moment, I think it's at IYH International Incident.
Probably.
Which I don't think we're really going to talk about that much, because nothing really happens. We can talk about
Camp Cornette versus the Clique.
We'll get there. She falls over at one point, and she
pretends to feign an injury,
and
she winks at the camera
in the replay. When they show the replay, she winks at the camera.
It's great,
and then tells the crowd to shush.
It's great.
It's great.
It's a great moment.
She's very face-ish. Face-ish? Is that a word? Face-ish?
As in, like, she's a face character?
Almost,
yeah.
A little bit.
She's very tweener.
Yeah,
she's very
tweener podcast, more like it.
She's our mascot.
Yeah, it's not, well, I mean, we could probably hire her for $10 these days.
Off of Skype.
Sonny, we need you to do a promo for us.
We need you to do a promo. You don't have to be naked. Like in Skype.
We love you, Sonny. I'm sorry.
You've made some poor choices.
She's, you can see that Diva's brand, as they'd say.
As Vince would say.
At a later point, you can see the brand kind of taking off there. I don't think you'll get a lot more females out of this. She doesn't even wrestle. She never wrestles.
No, she doesn't.
That's not really her thing.
She's a manager. She's a valet manager. That's what she does.
She's very Lana-esque, I think is a good equivalent. Because Lana is very over right now.
She's over, and she just talks and looks good.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'll see tonight at WrestleMania I'm sure they will. 100 times, I'm sure they'll cut the
they'll cut to her. They have to.
In her short ass skirt.
Oh, man. Them legs.
In her Miss Hancock style short skirt. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
International Incident. Well, I'm jumping away from Sunny. I'm sorry.
That's fine. We've done her justice.
I could have gone to this. However, I was not a wrestling fan. It took place.
It was in Vancouver.
It took place in Vancouver.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You can see the Canuck security telling people to sit down, stop having fun.
At a wrestling event, they told them to sit down.
People are not allowed to have fun at Canuck games.
Fuck off, security.
No, it's true. Damn, we missed Cloudy. Okay, let me get back to Cloudy, because Cloudy isn't at International Incident.
Oh, man.
Cloudy was a transvestite, or he was just a guy with a blonde wig on.
Thanks, Vince McMahon.
Or Russo, if he's actually booking at this point.
Is he?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look up.
Cloudy's a very Russo-esque character.
It's awful, and it's immediately buried by the USA Network.
Because it's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah, there was nothing they could do there with it.
No. Without offending a large number.
No, and it's not like Sunny was going to take a bump or anything.
No.
She might get slopped or something.
Yeah.
Although, I don't even want
Cloudy would crush Sunny.
Yes, Cloudy looked like Randy Orton wearing a wig. You know,
Maybe,
she had sleeves and everything.
Oh, man, it was brutal.
Anyway, USA Network hated the fact that there was a transvestite on Raw, so they actually told Vince to cut it out, which they're going to do a lot more often as we proceed. Yep. I think an incident with a handgun is the next incident.
That is, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't going to go anywhere, and the body donnas aren't going to go anywhere either. And they basically say it was all mind games. Wink, wink. Yeah, nothing really happens at International Incident. It's one of those weird pay-per-views during this time where, you know,
yeah, it's not.
It's not really jumping out.
Yeah,
you have the Camp Cornette fight. I think Austin fights Mero. He does I'm just going to talk about this because I don't think anyone can see it.
Yeah.
He does a 316 hand gesture, which you'll never see again. So if you ever want to see Austin do this weird, it was like, I'm doing it to the camera and you can't see it, 316 or something with his hands, and it made no sense.
Is that where they got they decided that Matt Hardy version 1 they're gonna do hand things like this and but that worked because it's only 3 fingers instead of 12?
I think it might have had something to do with the For Life hand sign that the NWO used to do.
Oh, right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or it could just be Austin trying something out. It didn't work. I'm just saying that. It's not important. It's just if you ever want to see Austin try something very strange, check it out. Mankind interrupts an Undertaker match with Goldust. He does the cool drag down spot. I think we've already seen it this year with Diesel, so it's not new. I think Garrett pointed out that this spot is going to happen all the time.
Oh, man. All the time.
This one's weird because he comes out and then the Undertaker comes out of a different location. So
but this spot was so good at the time that they used it forever.
The drag down spot, usually you're done. You don't show up again.
Yeah.
But this one, they come out of different holes.
Out of a different area. But they use it forever. Forever.
And then they brawl in the boiler room.
Yep.
And that's up next month.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. We're talking through International Incident here, and I was kind of like,
what are we going to do with this piece of shit?
Camp Cornette fights the Clique, or whatever the hell they were called. The Teamsters? They had some stupid name. Nothing exciting happens. Psycho Sid is great. There is some illusion that Sid might snap at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And go after HBK, which I really like.
And this is where Mero's getting guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Mark Meadows and Austin and Mankind are pissed.
Yep.
They're pissed backstage. And had I followed it as intensely as I do now, I would be pissed too because I think Mark Mero is very overrated.
I think only 2 people are making guaranteed money at this point, and they are Mark Mero and Brian Pillman.
Which is hilarious.
I think. They're guaranteed contracts. Maybe Shawn Michaels got the guaranteed contract because he signed it at this point, but yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care.
That's weird.
Brian Pillman, yes. Mark Mero, not so much.
Yeah.
But Brian Pillman has a broken fucking ankle, so he can't do anything.
Yeah.
Another hilarious thing for International Incident, if anyone wants to pay attention to it, is this great moment when Sid's trying to break up a pin, but he goes off the ropes.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like a 5 count before he breaks it off instead of just jumping onto them.
It's terrible.
Yeah, he tries to build up some momentum. It's terrible there.
It's like one of the few times I really laughed out loud at what Psycho Sid tried to do.
So funny. Let's move on.
Oh, yeah, the camera misses a 360 moonsault by Mero, which is like one of the moves he did really well.
Yeah.
To the outside, the camera misses it entirely.
Well, this is where Mero is kind of collecting the money he should. He does a fucking shooting star press at the next pay-per-view.
The camera work
in
'96 was so unpolished and so bad.
It's okay in a way because I kind of like it, but yeah, I mean, the guy's probably filming Sable while Mark Mero's killing himself.
The cameraman's doing his job that Vince told him to do, filming Sable.
So true, so true. Moving on. Are we done?
Goldust getting pushed?
No, I think we're good. Moving on to Raw. I'm trying to get out of International Incident.
Yeah, good idea.
I know. Fuck International Incident. All the WWE pay-per-views in Vancouver are shit.
Because the security tells the fans to sit down.
No, they're just shit. We got rock bottom in 1998 too.
Really?
Buried alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was in Vancouver?
And meanwhile, Toronto gets no pay-per-views during this time. I'm from Vancouver, if anyone is curious as to why I care so much. We both are living in Toronto-ish.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, sort of, kind of. They hate Toronto right now, and they never come here anymore. So they do have shows, but...
Kingston gets more shows.
Kingston gets a lot of shows.
Then Oshawa gets more shows than Toronto does.
Yeah. I don't know why they hate Toronto so much. It must
Probably because they want to have it at the ACC, and the ACC is probably charging them ass loads of money to go there. Maybe we'll just go like half an hour down the road to Oshawa for half the price at the GM place or GM Center or whatever the hell it is in Oshawa now. It is GM something.
I've been there. I saw TNA there once.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Of course it was.
I mean, the TNA was fine. It was just really awkward. I'm just surrounded by people from Oshawa.
Oh yeah, is this the Raw where Shawn eats cake?
Yes.
Off of Sunny?
Yes. It's not one of my points, but yes, Shawn Michaels sexually assaults Sunny.
Yeah.
And eats cake off her. And
Fucking
he's
bizarre.
a face.
That's really weird.
I think Ahmed actually fucking stiff shot Sunny with a cake.
Yeah, I think it was a stiff shot.
He's
too.
very reckless with the
He
cake.
like knocked her over with that cake.
Yeah. It would be like trying to throw a cake in someone's face without actually letting go of the cake and putting your fist through the side of the cake.
Yeah. Oh right. This Raw was terrible.
It's okay. He gave her cocaine later.
Yeah. No, I just like I know he did that. Like we all know the story about that.
Wait, there's a lot of terrible Raws here, and we're gonna get to them.
Yeah, but this is the one where Mero goes from fighting Austin on pay-per-view to fighting the Goon on Raw.
Goon. No, I got a worse Raw. We'll get to it.
Oh Jesus.
Farouk debuts at this one, I believe. The Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, which they call him Ron Simmons at one point.
Do they?
Yeah.
They don't call him the Gladiator?
Well, no way. I mean, I think King or JR says, "Oh, that's Ron." Probably not JR because he. I don't know. If
I don't think he was calling Raw at this point.
Yeah, but he says that's
he
Ron
started in
Simmons.
September.
And then they give Farouk, if anyone hasn't seen this, they give him a nice blue.
Oh my God!
How do you describe it?
What, that helmet?
It's a helmet.
It's a dunce cap.
And it's foam and it's blue and he wears a dress.
It's awful.
And he looks like Biggie Langston. You know,
He's the defender of women's rights too.
He's
Like
got
he comes in and defends Sunny. It's weird.
Yes, because he's a fucking face here. Ahmed
Yeah, he is.
assaulted Sunny with a cake.
He assaulted her with a cake. Yep,
He did.
he did. I know.
I honestly,
It was vicious.
If you could assault someone with a cake,
This
he
goes
did it.
back to my point that Ahmed is a really dangerous person to work with.
Even with a
woman. Fucking cake. It's a cake and a woman, and he almost kills Sunny. Like he knocks her ass to the ground.
It's brutal. It's brutal. So this is your first appearance of the future Hall of Famer.
Yep,
Can you believe that he's a Hall of Famer?
I can. He's done a lot of things, man.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. He ends up becoming the leader of the nation, so we'll probably see him again.
Yep.
Right now, he likes punching Ahmed Johnson's kidneys.
Yeah.
That's his gimmick.
Right, because he made his kidney like rupture or whatever.
He likes to make his kidney explode.
my
So
God.
Ahmed Johnson he constantly gets kicked in the kidney.
We should also say that Ahmed Johnson is constantly injured.
He gets injured
All the time. He comes back for like a week and he's injured the next week again.
I'm not sure what he got injured for here. He does this very dangerous spot.
He did a spot that messed up his back, like legitimately.
Because we
I think.
talked about earlier how he'll do this clothesline spot over the top rope, but he'll get caught in the ropes, or he'll fly over.
He'll fly over the ropes. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bad.
and so this time he actually catches his leg. I don't know
bad.
if he threw out his back or blew out his knee.
It's bad to watch.
And then we keep cutting back to him in a bathrobe trying to seduce Kevin Kelly or something, and it's awful, and I always have to fast forward it.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just never speak of it again. I don't think we'll see Ahmed. I mean, Ahmed will show up from time to time, but he'll just get injured, so
Yeah.
it's not that
What
important.
else happened on this Raw?
Jake Roberts and the Jerry Lawler feud is
really
warming up.
warming up. Yeah, King's reaction to finding out that there's a call with Jake Roberts in this Raw is hilarious.
And we keep cutting. Yeah, are we calling it from a bar?
Yeah, like he's at a different bar every night.
And he's been doing this for the past few weeks, so I'm assuming.
Austin jumps right on board too because Austin's on commentary.
Yep.
He just jumps all over it.
Yeah, and he says that earlier. He was saying that Roberts smelled like fumes. Like
He almost got drunk off of
Yeah,
the fumes.
he got
when
a
was
buzz off
wrestling
the
him.
fumes.
Yeah, it was insane.
And Lawler has these great quips. They're fucking hilarious.
They are.
And we'll hear them all the time.
Oh man, they're great.
All the time. And for the past few months. But, the storyline's actually just picking up now. He whenever, Jake Roberts is calling in, he's like, oh, I didn't think Jake Roberts' home, or what is it? He's from Stone Mountain or something.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't think Stone Mountain or the Betty Ford Clinic was in Stone Mountain.
Yeah.
And
His stupid king laugh, that's great.
And he was trying to give Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson, Jake Roberts' tag team partner, Jim Bean.
Yeah. Shows Jim Bean to the camera when he finds out that Jake's on the call.
There's a great moment where he's just shooting on Jake Roberts, and that's what he's doing. He is shooting. Probably Vince McMahon endorsed shooting.
Yep.
And telling Jake Roberts what a drunk he is, and God, I gotta find. We'll have to splice some of these quotes.
This match existed solely for the Jake the Snake Roberts call and the commentary with Austin and McMahon. Like, McMahon tries to call Mark Marrow the Wild Man, and Austin just shits all over it. Like, he just destroys the whole. He
probably
tries
wanted more money.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But also, this is the commentary that Austin mentions Bret Hart for the first time.
Nice.
Like, really.
Yes.
Yeah. He says he calls out Bret Hart for the first time, and that goes a lot of places in the coming months, which is good.
Interesting. Why the hell did I not have this in my notes?
Yeah, that's where he mentions Bret Hart the first time.
Let's talk about this. Bret isn't there right now.
No, he's off.
He's taking a sabbatical. He's still doing the basically doing a Chris Jericho schedule where he'll do shows in South Africa and stuff.
Yeah.
No televised stuff. He says he did it because he wanted to build some interest in Shawn Michaels. I think he was legitimately pissed off.
I think he was pissed.
And he kind of wanted to fuck Shawn Michaels.
No one fucking liked Shawn Michaels at this point, like in the locker room. Everyone fucking hated him.
And Bret was also doing a show called Lonesome Dove.
Yeah.
And he does a recording for The Simpsons as well, which is...
Oh,
it smells like old man in here. And he just didn't want to really be there. And fair enough. He knew WCW was going to sign him, give him an offer, and he knew he could use that to get more money out of Vince. I'm sorry if this isn't fair to Bret, but this is literally how I read it in his book. Like, he didn't really need to be there, and so he isn't, and he's a free agent. However, what is it? There's one night where I think they're in Seattle, so it must be this Raw, and Vince actually isn't at the Raw because he's gone to Calgary to talk to Bret.
Yep.
Because he needs Bret back because the ratings are shit. Mm-hmm. And Bret basically says, I don't really feel like coming back. And Vince is like, well, we're still going to promote the idea that you're coming back. So we have Austin here mentioning that he's going to come back, even though they don't have him locked down or anything.
And this whole commentary was great. Like, this match was like 15 minutes of commentary.
What match is it, though?
It's Mark Marrow versus the Goon.
Oh, the Goon.
And that's literally why I said the whole match existed for the commentary between Vince and King and Austin.
Yeah, they keep...
This is also the commentary. Austin mentions how he wants to travel around the Lex Express, just beating the shit out of people.
I love that idea.
Like, that's all he wants to do.
I love that idea.
And he also says that, like, Sable's a distraction.
Yeah.
And how she should be back in the kitchen. And it's like, oh, man. Like, in 1996, like, oh, well. But now it's just like, if you mention that now, like, good Lord.
Yeah. So, I mean, they keep sticking Austin on commentary. This is one of the great things about this time, where they would let people cut promos on commentary. Commentary, is that how I'm saying it? Commentary. They let you basically do your stick work during matches, which is great. Otherwise, then you start every Raw off with a 30-minute promo and no one watches.
Yep.
Triple H. Which is funny, because in NXT, everything starts with a match. So I don't understand why he, do as I do, not what I say.
Yeah. That match was 10 minutes, by the way. I'll have you know.
The fucking Goon.
That Goon versus Mark Marrow match was 10 minutes long.
Not even in Canada. It would have been over in Canada.
This Raw was an hour, and they took 10 minutes for Mark Marrow to fight a jobber solely for commentary.
Hold on.
The WCW is winning at this point.
I am going to get to the worst Raw I've ever seen.
Well, that's fine.
So far.
Yeah.
Comparative to. Let's go through Nitro right now. I do have the ratings here. Nitro goes 3.3 to Raw's 2.0.
Oh my god.
And it will be worse next week.
Oh yeah.
Nitro's lineup. This is before Clash of the Champions. Harlem Heat versus the Steiners for tag titles. Rey Mysterio, Ultimo Dragon. Drago?
For the cruiserweight, yeah.
Ultimo Drago, is he Rocky IV?
Drago.
Ultimo Drago. Ultimo Dragon, cruiserweight title. Ric Flair, Randy Savage, U.S. title.
How are those two fighting for the U.S. title?
They were that stacked. Hollywood Hogan came out to do an interview. The Outsiders, our buddies Diesel and Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
Diesel and Scott Hall.
Yep.
I guess he's not Diesel. They faced Sting and Luger.
Versus Sting and Luger. Good lord.
I'm telling you, they need to bring Luger back to the WWE.
And then Ric Flair challenges the NWO.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
To War Games, I believe. Or maybe it was just
maybe you just called them out.
We don't watch it. Anyway, so the WWF's counter to this was the worst
Oh my
Raw
God.
of all time.
First, they try and play up the injury to Ahmed Johnson.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We had a video on Ahmed, and then Chris Candido lost to Crush, I think, was this?
Yeah, he's doing a job while Sonny's probably back with Shawn Michaels.
Yes. Crush comes back, and he's not a Hawaiian Surfer anymore. He's Jailbird because he was legitimately arrested
yeah.
for selling steroids.
Yep.
God bless the Attitude Era. See, at this point, I think I was texting Garrett about how we shouldn't have started this podcast so early because
It was awful. Because this Raw is terrible. It was a fight to get through this Raw.
There was only one good thing where Lawler was asking Vince if he had ever been arrested.
Oh, really?
Yes. Do you remember? He's like, "You ever been fingerprinted?"
Oh, yeah.
You should splice this as an action.
And Vince
Vince sells it.
sells it so hard.
You ever been indicted? You ever been fingerprinted?
Man.
And
For any of you that don't know at the time what was going on.
yeah, well, Vince had been indicted a couple
of years earlier about the allegations of
allegations, wink wink,
allegations in quotations of superstars roiding
and
super hard,
encouraging
them
and
to
selling
roid
them and distributing
he
them.
was
He was up to no good. Don't sue me, Vince.
Vince, if you ever listen to this podcast, don't sue us.
Sonny, this is parody, just for anyone. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Sonny gets naked because they're trying to make chronic masturbators buy the SummerSlam pay-per-view because there's some sort of... It's not even on pay-per-view, so like I don't understand
chronic masturbators.
It was in the pre-show. Where Sonny and Sable and Marlena are just going to be wandering around in bikinis. Okay. Buy Raw magazine for the more mature audience.
Yeah, and this is where Ahmed Johnson tries to seduce Kevin Kelly.
Yes, and this is where we would all switch
to Nitro. Yep.
My favorite and the worst match of this entire thing, which broke me. Jim Neidhart comes out as who?
T.L. Plummer?
No. T.L. Plummer is the wrestling plumber.
Oh, God, he's the worst.
And then he faces the Godwins.
Oh, Jesus. This match is shit. Like, Backlund was running for president as a gimmick. I hope it was a gimmick. And he's on commentary with Vince and King, and he just loses his mind. Like, he just starts rampaging.
He's just screaming about
He's screaming, and then he looks to the crowd, and he's like, starts going ham on the crowd, and no one's buying it at all. Why are you still here, Bob Backlund? Let alone in 2000.
Is there anything worse? Okay. And then we get the Wrestle Vessel.
Oh yeah.
Where we finally get to see Bret Hart, finally, after a few months, and then he says, "Hey, I'm not coming back." And anything else? He says if he comes back, he's going to have a shovel with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's going to be burying some guys.
Yep.
You have a year left on your contract, Brad. I hope you'd realize that. I hope you realize it. And then thank God Sean and Owen have an excellent match.
Oh man, that's the only thing that made this show worth watching.
They have an excellent match, but I think Vader runs in and ruins everyone's life.
Yep.
Geez, did we get to SummerSlam already?
Yeah.
We're just
ripping through.
It'll be a little longer when we get to the more detailed stuff.
Yep. Yeah, ridiculously good match here by Sean and Owen.
It's so good.
Both true masters of their craft, obviously.
Oh. Yes.
Man, it was too soon, Owen. You should never have done that stupid fly into the ring.
Well, that's what Brett says. He says Brett says if I had been there, I wouldn't have let him do it.
Yeah, I know.
I could
Over the edge.
I could actually
what
do
a
that.
Tainted pay-per-view.
Yep. Yeah, it's on the network now.
Well, the fact that they kept going is terrible.
Yeah, and we're going to have to watch the uncensored one, too.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Yeah, we'll get there. Let's talk SummerSlam here.
Oh, yeah, and then Vader runs out at the end of Raw and murders everyone.
Yeah, I said that. He ruins everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. SummerSlam. We're in the Gund Arena in Cleveland.
How many things are at the Gund Arena?
I know. I was just thinking that. That's a very
I'm thinking even later on in the Attitude Era, like how many times they're at the Gund Arena in Cleveland.
Is that like like a Cavaliers.
Is that because Cleveland's just garbage and everything else, so they need to give them something?
Well, I mean, they have no actual sports, so we have to give them fake sports.
Fake sports.
I mean, all their teams.
You're good at fake sports, Cleveland.
Cleveland, I'm sorry. I don't actually mean to be, chirping you. I'm a Canucks fan. So.
Oh, this is Austin versus Yokozuna.
Yeah, and we had to watch it on YouTube because it's not on the actual, I think you have it, but I didn't have it on the network, so I had to watch it on fucking, Daily Motion.
Oh, yeah.
And Yokozuna must weigh...
He's fucking huge.
600 pounds.
He's huge.
He is massive, and it's such a waste of his talent.
He got released. He got released. He was too heavy.
In 1998.
He was too dangerous to work with.
And you point out that they do this later with the Big Show and Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. Yeah, they do the same thing.
Yeah, and he goes to OVW.
Yep. Well, that's why Big Show comes back and he looks like they plug the shit out of how he's in such great shape when he comes back. Like, look at him, he looks great. Look at that suit he's wearing, and they plug the hell out of him.
Yep.
So
that's all they wanted, and now he's never going to leave ever. Yokozuna loses because he breaks the ropes, which is kind of a cool spot. Very unpredictable, Attitude-esque. Unfortunately, it's on the pre-show.
Yeah.
I think Owen wrestles
he wrestles Savio Vega.
And Austin can't make the main show.
Oh man.
I guess he had no faces.
Why is Owen wrestling Savio Vega?
I think there was too many heels and there wasn't enough faces.
Oh my god.
I think the only real credible faces were Ahmed and Shawn and Undertaker, obviously. And
Owen still has his stupid cast on. It's been 80 years. It's black and gray from being so dirty.
Which is funny because it's not like he would wear it out in public.
Great selling though, and Owen's such a great entertainer. Because this is where when Savio Vega was going after his arm, he would just sell the hell out of it.
And,
my arm!
And corpse and make everyone laugh.
Yeah. He just corpsed so hard.
He wasn't. Let's talk about. Oh my god! I think we're out of notes here. The Boiler Room Brawl is an awesome match.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, what one?
Is it?
Which match is this?
The Big Show one is terrible. Never watched that one.
Oh fuck.
Nick actually admits to using fake blood in that one. I want to.
The Big Show one?
Yeah.
Really?
I once saw it and I emailed Garrett. What the fuck is wrong with me? I texted you and I was like, what was this match? Mick cuts his goddamn hand up. He goes through glass, all this bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And I read his second book and he says it was all fake. And he didn't want to actually take any bumps. So he used costume blood and everything.
Yeah, I didn't want to take bumps that could kill me because I had so much blood leaking out of everywhere.
Fair enough. More proud of Mick. But this match is excellent.
Yep.
There's a nice little lead-in here where Mankind is just kind of sitting in the boiler room, and he says to Kevin Kelly, who is done being molested by Ahmed Johnson, that if The Undertaker shows up, he's going to have a fate worse than death, which is excellent foreshadowing. Because nothing could be worse to The Undertaker than losing Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer, and that's great foreshadowing there.
Yes. They, we have a Jake Roberts Lawler match here. We'll get to it. Or maybe we won't. Who cares?
What else is happening here? Oh, yeah, okay.
We can get to it.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, they shoot the entire Boiler Room segment in one take.
Yeah, which is insane.
It's the night before, and Vince sees it and he goes, let's not do commentary over it.
And they don't.
But at the beginning you'll hear them be like, ow, ouch.
Yeah, but they still don't do it, and that's great.
And Mick really likes this match. It's one of his favorites. He always says, I wish people would tell me it's their favorite. And so if you see Mick, tell him it's your favorite, even if it isn't. It'll make his life. He doesn't really have much to be happy about these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's really dark. That's one of the problems with the match.
The lighting's terrible.
There's a great ladder bump.
It was a good match.
It fucks up his back.
Yeah, it was a good match. What else? Yeah,
because the tip's a ladder and it catches the ceiling and he literally falls 10 feet onto concrete. And
Mick Foley is a fucking god.
Yeah,
Foley is god. That sign didn't lie.
So remember when when him and the Undertaker are fighting out and all the wrestlers are just hanging out, drinking beer, and he throws coffee on the Undertaker. And
that spot will never get old. The whole hot coffee thing.
It's just cold coffee, right?
Yeah, but it's Hot coffee.
Because there's always steam coming off it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a steam machine or something. They probably
They
just pour
threw
hot
dry
coffee on
ice in the coffee.
it. Maybe. I don't know. He goes to the ring. They have an awesome concrete splash where he pushes the ropes and it makes Mankind literally die.
He literally dies.
He literally dies. Paul Bearer,
yeah.
he hit Mankind he hit Undertaker with the urn at King of the Ring. They briefly mentioned it on a couple of Raws what he was up to. There was some shenanigans there, and then they never mentioned it again.
Well, then this is like a great JR soundbite. We'll have to splice in. Stop that! Stop that! That's hideous. Like, it's just a great JR bite.
Paul Bearer turns heel.
Yeah,
First time in
since the Undertaker's been there.
Yeah, he leaves.
First time since the Undertaker's been without Paul Bearer,
and it's excellent. And he takes the urn with him, and it seems like the Undertaker's a little bit more vulnerable now.
Yep.
When we start seeing him get his ass.
No flashlight in the urn anymore.
Yeah, he starts getting beat up by jobbers and stuff.
Yep. I think they did that really well. Actually, I think the whole
great turn.
Just great time.
Great turn, great match.
Yep.
And there's a weird match with Vader and Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
Where they keep stopping it. It's an excellent match. But they keep stopping it, and not because Vader keeps fucking his spots up and HBK keeps throwing hissy fits.
Yo, that was ridiculous. Like, HBK just berating Vader.
He stops the match. He comes off the rope, stops in midair, just lands on his feet, and then kicks him in the face and goes, "Move!"
Yeah, like, holy fuck.
What a prick. Anyway,
man, Shawn Michaels is a dick. I love you now, Shawn. But
Vader keeps winning, but not, he'll win by DQ, he'll win by count out, all this bullshit. And Cornette says, "No, we're not doing that, I want the match."
Yep.
Very strange.
Really bizarre.
But maybe they were trying to keep him strong. I think they wanted him for Survivor Series, but at this point, they must have known they were going with Sid.
I hope so.
Or they were going with
I hope they knew.
Going with Roman Reigns this time.
Yep.
And
this is the pay-per-view where we found out that they'd signed Mark Henry to a 10-year contract. And then, they're stuck with him until 2006. And then he was right in the middle of a push in 2006, so they had to re-sign him. They couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Yeah, it's...
And then it was we're going to actually push him now?
Because he was supposed to win the gold medal. I mean, supposed to. You never, ever want to predict or bet your wrestlers.
No, because he got, 8th place.
Yeah, he was shit.
He was shit. And then they just kept billing him as the world's strongest man anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Brutal. So... I think that's June to August of 1996 for you. It actually wasn't that different.
SummerSlam was the last thing.
See, we didn't waste your time with too much bullshit.
Sort of.
I mean, I think next month you're going to be seeing a lot more attitude-ish
stuff.
Unfortunately, this one, there's not a lot of stuff to go with.
So, what final thoughts on what we just covered, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
The speed of the show is an hour show is not long.
No.
It's not a long show.
You burn through it so quickly. And you want to see next week's.
You want to see next week's because it's short and it usually ends with a pretty good ending.
You can either watch 3 around this time or you can watch 1 these days.
Yeah,
no wonder no one watches anymore.
2-hour Raws.
No, it's 3 hours, man. 3.
See how long it's been since I've watched?
3-hour Raw, 2-hour SmackDown, 1-hour Superstars.
That's horrible.
I know.
Oh my god.
I know. And they even have a This Week in WWE for people who have ADD and can't be bothered to watch it.
Yeah.
So you get a half hour.
You get a half hour because it's too long.
Yeah, it's too much. But because of that speed, you can do so much with it.
And now at this time, promos during matches were pretty good.
Yep.
And a lot of the things on the mic were good. A lot of commentary. Whenever Steve Austin was on the mic at this time, I was just on commentary. It was great. It was great.
You have a sense of urgency.
Yep. You got to rush through it. You got to rush through.
Which is funny because they're not even live. One is live and the rest are taped. But at the same time, you can see them kind of pushing, and trying to get as much out of it as they can.
So that works. What isn't working? Jobbers.
There's a lot of gimmick jobbers, a lot of plumbers.
A lot of gimmick jobbers and recording. I mean, I know that this is 1996, but recording 4 Raws at one time in the same place.
You are fighting a war with another company who has the resources and the ability to do whatever they want. They can book on the fly. They can give away your results.
And you're booking 4 weeks.
They were giving away your results in September of 1995, and you're still not live.
Yep, it's bad.
You have no one to blame but yourself. If I'm, if someone's kicking your ass because of that and you don't change, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm amazed Bischoff didn't do it all the time. I'm amazed Bischoff didn't do it every night. He should have. But I think at this point he was like, I don't care.
Yep. We have the NWO.
Yeah, who cares?
Yep. Oh, are we feeling the attitude? It's there. I mean, you've got Undertaker versus Mankind.
We wouldn't have started at this time if it wasn't
there. I think the Austin 316 speech really kicked it off. But
yeah, there's so many different roads we could go at this point
Yep.
will. You'll see some roads in January of 1997 where they kind of are all aboard the Shawn Michaels train.
Yep.
And then Shawn Michaels puts a bullet into his own push.
Yeah.
And that breaks off. And I think we'll see. I think that will be our point of
attitude
yes,
really starts.
Because I think that's when they're like, fuck it, let's do all these things.
I mean, best match during this time for me, anything with Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Because he's a monster.
He's great. He's so charismatic.
Everything he does is amazing.
He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be as charismatic as he is. Very. I was saying this the other day. Yep. He was very Kurt Angle. Very Daniel Bryan.
He shouldn't be as good as he is.
Very
but
Daniel
he's great.
Bryan-esque.
Yep.
He shouldn't have that personality, but he does.
The Mankind Undertaker brawl was great too.
So good,
in my opinion.
King of the Ring and Boiler Room.
Yep, both of them were great. Worst match, T.L. Hopper versus the Godwins was.
My brain broke at
that very, very low point. Those alien commercials.
Yes, we need to share those on Twitter.
Oh my God, they're awful.
These aliens abduct some wrestling fan, and then wrestling is cool.
Yeah,
and then they bring in girls. Not Sunny, amazingly enough.
That's weird.
She probably would have done it.
Yep, for coke.
And on Skype. Yeah, we need to put those on Twitter. That's just awful.
And then I guess that just leaves us with what's going to be coming up. The next episode.
Time.
More Bret Hart.
I think next time is going to be so much better than this time.
Bret Hart and Sid. Brian Pillman. We talk about Brian Pillman, which to me is great.
We really should have talked about it in this episode. But
he's a lot more predominant in
it's true
in September and October.
Yep. We got Madison Square Garden.
Yep. And more Austin. More Steve Austin rants. More great interviews with Steve Austin and commentary.
And you're going to hear his theme music for the first time.
Yep. Which is great. Thank God they got rid of his jobber entrance where they didn't know what to do.
Yep. And that's our first podcast. Hopefully you liked it. If you didn't, well...
email us with ideas.
Yeah, please. We need them.
For the love of God.
Yeah. Hope you listen to next time.